Hello, welcome once again. This is Bnoskka. I'm telling you, this is Apprise Music Production. We are here to educate you on your rights as an artist, as a cultural professional, as an author, as a composer, as a director, as whatever you think you are within the creative arts industry. And today I have some wonderful guests with me. And they are looking so fantastic. On my right is Mex. Mex, what do you do? Please tell us.
Okay, so I'm Mex. I'm a recording artist, and then I was student of Ghana Institute of Journalism, and I'm reading public relations with marketing. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And on my left is Phillip. Phillip, what do I do?
I'm a film director, a blogger, and I work here at Apprise Music.
That's fantastic. Right. So today we are also here. We want to discuss more issues, and this is our episode 3. And basically what we're trying to look at today is about general publishing. So when we say publishing, what does it mean? We want to look at publishing. We want to look at collective management organizations and what they do. We also want to look at music royalties, and we want to look at compulsory license, and then what is metadata. Right, so let's start. When we say publishing basically means that it's an infrastructure or a system that helps authors, music composers, or lyricists to get their work out there and to make money out of it through publishing as the system of getting it known, through copywriting, and also through licensing. So when we say copywriting, basically meaning that you need to protect your rights as an author, as an artist, as a director, as a content creator, and everything. So make sure that whatever you're doing, you are not infringing on other people's rights, but you are doing a unique and new thing, which you would have to get copyright for it. And then also, by publishing, make sure that don't just create the work and keep it in your home. Make it out there. Make sure that you have gotten the necessary papers and documentations to prove that indeed you are the right owner of that work. And even if it's a paint, these days we have a digital system whereby it's able to identify artistic expressions of individuals so that it is known that Bnoskka made this paint or drawing or whatever it is. And then also through licensing, make sure that if your picture is being put in frames and being showed at traffic light, then it means you are getting money. But it's not that people have downloaded that picture you took or that song you did and they put on CD, put on pen drive, and they are selling at traffic light and they're selling at vantage points. When you see that, they are infringing on your right. But if somebody has gotten a license from you to be able to do that, it means a license basically means that you have given them permission to put your song into a CD or a cassette or a DVD or on a digital platform or whatever, and you are getting money. That means you have licensed them to do so. And if you have not done that and you realize that people are infringing on your right, it means you need to take action. You need to protect it because your private, personal property. Now, when we say copyright and publishing, basically, you need to get money from whatever you have created. For example, you go to a studio, you want to record a song, or you buy a camera, you want to take movies. The cost of the camera must be recovered. And so every movie you make, if somebody is taking a picture or a frame of your movie and it is making money out of it without you knowing, it means the person is infringing on your right. So make sure that as a person, you get the right person to help you to publish. And these days, we have companies that have mastered the art of publishing. Because as an individual, if you want to do publishing, it's not that easy. In fact, we have three basic types of publishing. We have what we call the traditional publishing. Traditional publishing here means that you have made the song into a music sheet. Okay? So you find a company that has been established to produce the work in quantities and then put it out there so that whatever quantity they make, you know that if it is 100,000 copies they have made, you are getting profit from the 100,000. That is the traditional publishing. And then we have people who also do what we call press kits. They walk into any market and they find some guy who is printing a CD or printing pen drive, or somebody who has a printing machine in one of the shops around, and you say, oh, print my books for me. So they just print. They are not making sure that what you are putting it there is originally yours, or they are not going through the proper system, arranging your work to meet the specific demand on the market. Then that press kit, you just do that. And then the third option is whereby we call it a hybrid, whereby there are companies which have specialized in doing traditional publishing. But because you don't want them to get all your rights, you want to leverage on your skills, your talents, and then you strike a deal with them. Okay, so publish this copy for me. You're not going to do distribution. I'm going to do distribution myself. So you then use a third-party system to do your distribution yourself. But if you want to go solely, then you are going traditional. If you want to go hybrid, then it means you are reserving some of your rights and the things you want to do. So for example, licensing, you don't want anybody to license your work apart from yourself. But if you want the company to do that on your behalf, then you have given them that liberty to do so. So these are the three types of publishing. Now let's look at what is collective management. Collective management organization, basically by law, they are companies which have established and have been given legal mandates to go around town to make sure that if your song is being played on the radio, you get money for it. If your movie is being showed on TV, you get money for it. If DJs and spinners and performers are performing your song in National Theatre, Conference Center, Event Center, weddings, parties, churches, mosques, every event, including lorry stations and those who sell medicines, all those kind of systems. If your song is being performed or your movie is being shown, sometimes you get into a station and there's some people have got it and they are showing somebody's movie on the TV, just like that, without any authorization. They just go and buy a CD which is supposed to be for personal use, and then they are now put it on the public domain and they are showing for the whole world to watch. That is an infringement. So collective management organizations are charged by law. Make sure that if a hotel is playing your song or they are showing your movies in their hotel rooms, they pay money to you, the artist or the author or the composer or the writer. If vehicles are having what they call a radio in their vehicle, when they get to the port, they pay money to you. So collective management organization will collect that money on your behalf and give it to you. At the same time, radio stations playing your songs on the radio, they also pay money. DJs, they go to people's funeral, birthday parties, weddings, or even when somebody is laughing and they are playing your music in the public domain, the collective management organizations are supposed to get money for you. So that is the work of a collective management organization. Basically, they are mandated by law and they are monitored by the Copyright Office to be able to make sure that whatever your song is doing in the system, beyond your personal license you've granted, be it on the radio, be it on event center, be it on a party, be it at a church, be it at the stadium or political rallies, political parties, campaigns, and whatever not it may be, once it's been performed, the collective management organization supposed to get money for you. And what is the money that we are talking about here? There are two things. What we call is mechanical right. Mechanical right here simply is simple. The microphone that I'm talking in was made by somebody. It was not meant to be used to perform your work in public domain. But because this mechanical means, which is the microphone, somebody is going to pick the microphone and speak into it and to use it to perform your song, or even yourself at an event. Therefore, when this mic is being made, we charge mechanical right on it. At the port, if it is being imported into Ghana, or if it is being made here in Ghana, the law says that they have to pay a right over it. So when they pay that money, collective management organization will collect the money and give it to you. That is mechanical right. Then we also have what we call synchronization right. Synchronization here means that somebody is making a movie. Movie is not about music, but your music will be played in it. There's a party and then they will play your song in it. Within that movie, when your song appears in it, it is synchronization, so you must get money for it. And if you personally have licensed that TV production crew or the filmmaker or the film producer, then it means you are getting your money direct. But if they don't and the movie come out, then the collective managed organization was supposed to get money for you. If they don't, you have to sue them in the law court. You don't have to go and fight with anybody. You don't have to go and quarrel with anybody. Just proceed to the law court. Or you can even come and ask for services to be granted, and you will be able to get the benefit. Then we also have what we call pay before you play. Pay before you play here simply means that you are a DJ. You want to play people's music as a living. So that's what you do, disc jockeying. So you buy the disc jockeying equipment, or you buy a laptop and you download people's songs onto it, and then you go to people's funeral and you play to entertain people. There's nothing wrong with it. The law says pay before you play. Pay before you play here means that you go to a collective management organization and you tell them that I'm a DJ. I need a license to be able to go and play songs. So they will charge you what we call a blank levy. And the blank levy here means that they would say that, okay, for a year, we are charging 1,000 Ghana cedis or 500 Ghana cedis or $50 or $100. Once you pay that money, then you have the license. So they will give you a sticker, an embossment, a certificate to show that you have been licensed as a DJ to play. So you have paid. Now let's go into the play. The play here means that every event that you go to play people's music, you need to log. Log here means that you need to have a record to show that I played this song 1 minute, I played this song 3 minutes, I played this song 4 minutes. When you do all that, at the end of the month, you submit this data to the collective management organization's office to show that the pay I paid, the play I played, this is the data to show. So that when they collect that money from you and they are going to distribute it back to composers and producers and artists, they also know that, okay, Philip songs were played in 3 minutes, and so every minute is 5 pesos or 1 peso. Meg's songs were played 10 minutes, and so every minute is 1 peso. So you deserve 10 pesos. That is what it means by pay and play. And so that is the work of the collective management organization. Now let's go on to royalties. Now, the word royalties began in way back in the late 13th and 14th centuries. What it simply means is that there were people who owns land. That is the royal. Let's say a king owns a land and he hasn't got the means to cultivate it. So he finds peasants or people who lives around, and then they go to the king. The king gives them the go ahead, use my land. But then at the end of every year, they gather their produce and gather money and bring it to the royals. So when they get to the castle gate, they ask them, where are you going? Oh, these are goods for the royals. Royalties is mine. I'm going to pay my loyal to the king for giving me his land to use. So these things kept on going, and then somewhere in the 18th centuries, 19th centuries, specifically in France, there was a cafe called Café Ambassadorial. About 3 musicians went there with their friends to go and drink and eat. And whilst they were there, they did enjoy, had their drinks, and when they finished, the waiter came and said, Madam, Misters, please, this is the cost for your drinks you took, and then this is the bill for the seat you sat on. They said, what? Why do we have to pay for the seat we sat on? After all, we came here, you people have been playing our music, and you have not paid anything to us. You need to pay us, show us some loyal, at least give it out for free. We will not even pay for anything. They got out of the place, and the cafe owner took them to court. And the argument they put up in court in France those days was that they are using our music without paying us any royalties. If it was a land that you were using the land, at the end of the year, you come and pay us royalties. So we are musicians. Yes, you bought the first copy, but you are playing, and everybody knows that this particular place, people come here because They enjoy the music. So pay us royalties. And that is when the court ruled in favor of the musicians. And today, in 2024, everybody wants to enjoy royalties because it is your right. People are supposed to use your work for personal use. For example, your home, in your bedroom, you buy a small home theater. It is meant to play in your home. So when you play, then it means for personal use. Or you go to school and the teacher brings somebody's music and is playing it in the school. To educate the school students, that is allowed by law. It means it is under fair use. Okay? Or a library decides that, oh, this particular song, it is getting missing. So let's make a copy and keep it in the library. Whether it's a book or whatever, they make a copy and put it in the library. It's under fair use so that when people want to research about a particular song, they can come to the library and listen or read that book and be able to make references to it. That is under fair use. But beyond that, once all these activities are going on in the system, collective management organizations are supposed to collect your royalties on your behalf, and then at the end of every quarter or every month or every year, give that money back to you as your royalties. And that is what has come to stay. And the last point I want to talk about is what we know as metadata. Metadata simply means that you make a movie, you make a music, you write a book. All the people whose hands touched your work, their details put together is known as the metadata. So, for example, you made a song. Where did you record it? Who was the studio engineer? Who played the guitar? Who played the bass guitar? Who played the drum? Who did the singing? The backing vocalist? Who did the clapping? Even if there was a dog that shouted or barked in your music, the dog is captured as part of the metadata. Or let's say the album labeling. Who did the label? Who did the design of the cover? And then how many minutes does each song last? All those details put together forms the metadata. So it's a biodata or a data that covers every activity of the song. So for example, you can have a song that the song was written by one person, the song was sung by one person, the song was produced by another person. So 3 people owns it. So all those data will justify it, and that is what it means by metadata. Now back to my guests.
Okay, so for me, my first question is, during the process of recording a song, and you have about 5 people there, let's say 3 people have contributed in writing and trying to, you are recording the song, right? But you have 3 people there who are directing, oh, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. Now, what happens when it comes to the royalties?
Thank you.
What are the percentages and how do you share it?
All right. Straight to the point. So if we are creating a song and you go into a studio, the first thing that needs to take place is what we call a split sheet or a split agreement or song agreement, okay? Or music agreement or publishing agreement. Now, this agreement will decide that, okay, the studio engineer says that this is my studio. When you come here, if you bring all your musicians to come and play, then it's your right. But if I should play the organ for you, if I should play the bass guitar, then I need 10% of this work. I need 5%. Or you came and you featured another artist. Maybe you featured Phillip, and Phillip also came to sing. So Phillip is saying that I need 30%. So the split agreement, you sign it before you start. So once you sign it, you start, and you are going to Apprise Music to go and publish your music. You come with that details to show that, yes, Phillip owns 30% from this music. Max owns 5%. Bnoskka owns 80%. I want a bigger share for myself. Right, so that details will show who owns what. But if you are the sole person, you pay the engineer off, you pay the backing vocalist off, you paid everybody off, then you owe 100% in the work. That's what it means. Any medium that will infringe on people's rights as a creative persons, the law charges mechanical right on them at the port of entries. Or even if it is made here in Ghana, you pay.
If Apprise music was to be creating phones or camera, right, and we should sort of export it.
That's something that once they take the tax from that product, we'll get that the creatives behind the creation of that tool will get royalties out.
Fantastic. Exactly. They will get royalties out. But if the creatives have not registered with a collective management organization, they will get nothing. So that's the caveat. But the law says that once you are an artist, you need to go and register. In Ghana, the collective management organization we have here is Ghana Music Rights Organization, which we call GAMRO. Then we have Audiovisual Rights Society, which is ASOG. Then those in books, we call it Reprographic Rights Society of Ghana. In shorten, they call it Copy Ghana. So Copy Ghana, GAMRO, and ASOG. These are the three main collective management organizations in Ghana. If you register, then when they are sharing royalties, you get your money. But if you don't register, they will collect on your behalf and you will not get any money. But the law says that when they collect money and they are sharing and your data happens to appear in it and you are not there, they should put the money in what we call a black box. And the black box will stay there. In some countries, they say 5 years. In some countries, they say 3 years. Some countries, they say 1 year. And then if you don't come and join, they will share your money to the rest of the members. Yes, that is by law. That is by law. Yes, by law. So, for example, that also hinge on the point what we mean by compulsory license. You see, in music, there's nothing like compulsory license, where somebody say, oh, your music is there, nobody is using it, so me, I'm claiming compulsory license, so I want to make a cover version on it. No, it is wrong. Compulsory license only works with patent for chemical purposes, and where it means that you have made your discovery, you've made a drug which is going to help everybody, and you have registered, and the law says that 5 years you are not using it. The state, which is the country, not only in Ghana, all over the world, will license your work to people to use, to reproduce, so that it can save humanity. But compulsory license does not exist in music in Ghana. But if you go to United States of America, they have compulsory license. The compulsory license is also another law they have passed. And that compulsory license in the US states that if you want to make a song, you don't need to come and ask me questions. What you need to do is that you have to state by the law, I'm going to use this song. I'm going to use the words. The words was written by this. The melody was written by this. It was produced by this. So you fill in all those details. And then the law will now determine, okay, this song that you are bringing, how many percentage should we give you in terms of economic right? So after you finish the work and you upload, the system will generate and say that, okay, Philip or Max, you deserve only 10% from this work you have created. So all the streams you get, all the sales you do, the money will go back to the original author, the composer, the producer, and blah, blah, those who made the first copy. They would get that share and you would get that minimum, that little, okay? But in Ghana, we don't have compulsory license. We have not passed a law on it. Yeah, so that is what it means.
I can ask a question, right?
Do.
Okay, thank you. So for the person who is watching right now, right, the musician who understands that once they do their song and they distribute and it goes to the stores, that's just it, right? How can you make a person like that understand that distributing your song alone is not just the end? He also needs to register for publishing.
Okay. So basically, if you are watching me, this is Bnoskka. I'm telling you, before you distribute, publish. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't distribute before you start publishing. It makes it a little complex because before you know it, somebody has already distributed and is getting money from you. So make sure you publish first and then you distribute. And it is easy to do it yourself, but I will advise you, don't do it yourself because you may not have the time to be able to monitor it. So get a company. For example, Apprise Music does publishing and distribution, and they have the technical skills to be able to make sure that they do the right thing for you. Because sometimes you may publish and you may not do it right, and you may not have the time. They will even notify you that somebody is infringing on your right, and you are an artist. You don't have the time to go about it. So if a company is publishing for you, they will be able to see it and notify you quickly. This is what has happened. And because they are seeking for your interest, they will make sure they take the necessary action. Again, distribution also is also something that I don't wish people do it themselves. Why? Because sometimes there are details, the artwork that you need to produce. There are specific information that must go onto it. If you don't approach a company, you may do the wrong things and it will not be to your benefit. Less result, exactly. And sometimes to the distribution companies also, that's what we call pitching of your work. When they realize that this particular song can do very well on this kind of this particular song, they pitch your song to it so that when somebody goes to listen, they will get the opportunity to also hear your work. And that is one advantage when you do a company publishing. For example, you come to Apprise Music, we will surely help you.
Definitely.
All right. Any questions?
So finally, I just wanted to know, I'm more particular about the publishing and the royalties because it's been something that has been bothering me for quite some time. Now, so let's say somebody has produced a song for you. You were part of the people who, part of the lyrics, but he produced all the beats and everything. Yeah. When it comes to the royalties and the distribution, the publishing, how is it going to be like?
Okay, so I started early by saying that when you go to a studio, every studio engineer should give you a split sheet. And in that split sheet, he must be able to make you understand. Sometimes, you go walk into a studio with just your melody and your lyrics. As to how the beat will sound, you have it in your head. But if you were given a drum to play it, you wouldn't know how to play it. So somebody has to contribute. So all those contributions also ends up becoming a creativity. And so therefore, they must also enjoy. So you have to agree with the studio engineer or the music producer to decide that, okay, I want 50%, I want 40%, I want 70%. It's an agreement. Once you agree, you sign it. So when you're going to publish, you come with that data, that split sheet or song arrangement or song agreement. You come with it and then we put it into the system. And the system will automatically identify all the right owners and does the royalties to them accordingly.
So what's about the performing rights?
The performing rights to the same thing. Now, the performing rights here goes to event organizers and those who do DJs and all that. One, there's pay before you play. You have to pay before you play. But if you don't do, then you're an artist. You are invited to a program. Make sure that you sing your own songs. Because when you sing your own song, that is when the performance right lies within you. But if you go on stage and then you go and sing other people's songs, then it means you are telling us that, okay, you sing, we'll pay you appearance fee. But the money we'll have to pay to the original author. So the appearance fee and the performance fee, this is how to deal with it. Yeah. Any more questions?
I don't have a question. I just have an experience.
Good, share.
Something that I noticed. A popular Ghanaian artist, when they say there was an incident where I think that it was a Nigerian movie titled Slay, and it was on Netflix. And upon all the hard work and things that they did to able to get there, just because they were not allegedly able to get license permission from her, everything was taken out of Netflix.
Of course.
The entire movie, and something like this goes along. Like it literally affects, even your reputation as a producer.
Yeah, and it's a money wasting. And intellectual property, like I told you, is a property like your house, your car, everything. So let us try and do the right thing so that investment that we put into it will not be wasted. Sometimes you find people going to studio to record a cover version of somebody without getting the license. And the studio engineer will charge you money, or the people who appear and will charge you money. But if you don't have the license, it means you can't also release it. If you release it, you face civil charges. And this is where time will permit us. This is Bnoskka. Make sure you follow Apprise Music Productions in all social media handles. Make sure you also patronize our services. We'll give you publishing, we'll give you distribution, and we help you do the right thing. This is Bnoskka. I'm telling you. Until we meet next time, subscribe.